Welcome back to my channel. This time I'm going to do voiceover. Last time I posted a video, I was completely silent. I guess you guys didn't like it. Anyways, today it's a simple video. We're going to migrate VM from one host to another. Because it's Windows 11, Windows 10, it doesn't have failover features. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to kind of do it manually. But first, let me try to move it. So I have my virtual machine host ready. I'm going to try to move it. You basically just right click on the machine and on the virtual machine and move. I assume you watched my previous videos. You have two hosts, 1 and 2. So I'm moving from Hyper-V 1 to Hyper-V 2. And there's an error message. It's been buggy like this for a while. I don't think Microsoft fixed that. If you have Windows Server, which I'm actually going to switch to very soon, you have a failover feature. I mentioned that already. You're not going to have this problem. But if you're only dealing with the free Hyper-V version, Windows 10, Windows 11, just working okay, and it's free. You're going to have to manually, your best bet is just to manually move data from one host to another. So what I'm actually doing, I'm accessing the second server, second host, Hyper-V server, and I'm creating a VM folder and a hard drive folder, virtual drive folder, and then I'm just going to manually move it. I'm going to take a couple of screenshots. I'm not going to wait for copying process from the beginning to the end. Just want to shorten this video, otherwise it will take an hour. All right, so first you just move the drive. Don't move virtual machine. Don't move any other elements of your virtual machine. Just the drive, because that's where your data sits. You move the data in the form of a virtual drive and build a new virtual machine on the second host. This is your best bet. Everything else will follow. You're going to have to assign new network adapter. You can change your available memory, because two different hosts may have different configurations. Not everything from the first host may be available on the second host. I'm creating structure for my VMs and for my virtual drives. Again, you have host number 1 that currently hosts your virtual machine. So it has a VM data meaning definition of your VM, and it has an attached drive. You move that drive, virtual drive, to your second host, to any location you want, and then go to your second host or access it from your first host remotely and build the virtual machine. And in the end, that's what I'm doing right now. Attach the drive. The drive has to be on the same VM, on the same host as the VM, otherwise your performance will take a hit. You can attach a USB if you want for as an exercise, or ideally for the production, you should store it on a hard drive or SSD, wherever it's inside your laptop. So I'm creating my VM. Because it's a server, I'm actually moving my domain controller. So once I'm able to boot my VM, I have to test it. What's the best way to test it? See if you can access it from another machine. But not only that, you have to make sure DNS works fine, make sure your configuration is correct, IPs, DNS, gateway, and also you need to make sure you can successfully run replication. Otherwise, you don't have a domain, functioning domain. because replication is your DNS, replication is your AD, replication is pretty much the entire operation. All right. So I got my machine. On the left-hand side, you can see you can switch between primary, secondary. Remember, you have to be joined to the domain to be able to pull that trick. Okay, so this machine this is the only machine on my second Hyper-V. Let's run it. Migrated or moved virtual machine. Remember, um, data is the same because the drive is the same. Virtual machine is different. It's brand new. If you had any custom configuration, you're going to have to recreate it. For VMware, it was a vMotion feature. Hyper-V doesn't have it, but Hyper-V is free. For failover, I already mentioned that like 1,000 times. You can literally migrate your virtual machine from one host to another without any problems, without jumping through the hoops like in this case. All right, let's wait for my VM to fully boot. Again, I took shortcuts in this video, so when you do it from the beginning to the end, it's going to take a little longer. All right, so my VM is now booted from my secondary host. I'm going to log in. You can play with resources. You can give it more memory, more CPU. Just anytime you make this adjustment, make sure you shut the machine down and then do whatever you have to change, whatever you have to change, and then power up the VM. Okay, let's 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 test it. That's my IP. Checking DNS, checking gateway name. I'm accessing domain by name, which is extremely important. That's your test for DNS server and connectivity. Okay, that's my DC2, the new secondary second domain controller I built in my previous video. So from each one of them, I should be able to access the domain. By accessing the domain through CMD, you actually accessing one of the domain controllers. All right, time for application test. Looks good. There are only two replication partners. We have two domain controllers. If you want more testing, create fake account of one of them and run replication and see if you can retrieve the if you can see it on secondary domain control, then delete from the secondary domain control, run replication and see if changes were replicated to the primary domain control. I mean, there's 1,001 way to test it. Always open the database, AD, just to confirm you're able to access it. There are no issues with security problems. Yep, looks good. Yeah, so that's good enough for me. Just don't forget to clean up. You can't have both machines running at the same time. It's the same name, same IP. I hope you know that. So as soon as you move, before you start your virtual machine on the from the second host, from the target host, make sure you shut it down on your source host. Do whatever testing you have to do. If everything checks out, um, delete your VM, or at least just make sure it's prevented from automatically starting up, or at least the domain control, the NIC is disabled. So if the machine that's no longer in production automatically goes up when the host goes up, you're not going to have a conflict. All right. So now I'm deleting from the source, from my primary Hyper-V, I'm deleting the drive, and I'm going to delete the virtual machine just to clean up. Otherwise, believe me, a couple months from now, you're not going to remember which one's which, especially when both are down. That's about it. Um, I hope this is easy to follow, and I should be able to put another video shortly. But that's about it for Hyper-V on Windows 11, Windows 10.